everyone, I'm Erin and welcome back to the SFA podcast. This month we will be discussing the topic of consumerism. Ever since internet shopping and certain communities started praising spending money in order to achieve a certain lifestyle, it seems like the acts of consumerism are performed by people of various age groups, each performing them for different reasons. This video will discuss the pros and cons, why and how such a disturbing act is being encouraged by the media, as well as its effect on teenagers, a group of people who are arguably most vulnerable towards consumerism. Let's first welcome our speakers for this episode, Jasper and Lily.
Hello there, I'm Jasper.
Hi, I'm Lily.
Let's begin by defining consumerism.
Consumerism is defined as an attitude that promotes the purchasing of certain goods as a form of economic growth of some sort. It requires the stimulation of customers, often so that they can purchase excess goods. Some examples include the usage of luxury brands and new technology or upgrades of existing technology. For example, buying the new model of a brand's phone whenever it comes out.
Yes, this often brings people the belief that possession of goods or services is a desirable goal, and shows one's level of happiness and well-being to be dependent on it. This then encourages people to engage in a lifestyle of excessive materialism and purchasing goods in increasing amounts. Many will start to believe that to live a good life, they must obtain these goods in order to become a successful person.
This idea is being encouraged, particularly in the media, in various ways. One of the most significant ones, possibly leading to many people living in debt, is one that is probably in everyone's lives: the existence of credit cards and debit cards. Though this has brought convenience to many, this can cause people to spend excess amounts of money that they did not have nor can return.
Continuing the fact that this is largely promoted in the media, there are many popular social media platforms that are saturated with advertisements. Often, public figures' daily lives are broadcasted through these various forms of social media platforms and the internet. Many of their fans or consumers want to live a similar lifestyle. As a result, consumers buy certain goods as they believe it allows them to live a quality life. Furthermore, many social media figures hold sponsors, completely understandable as it is their job. However, many have young and impressionable audience who have yet discovered many financial managing capabilities. This is by no means blaming influencers, as that this is their job, but they hold a social responsibility for their actions.
One of the points that is evident throughout is the idea to stay trendy. When seeing these social media stars becoming popular, many teens or younger audiences may start to buy certain unnecessary items just to keep up with the latest fashion or trend. Due to this unnecessary lifestyle, many critics deem consumerism as unsustainable.
In fact, on a global scale, personal debt has been increasing. A direct evidence shows that many individuals are buying goods impulsively and excessively without proper financial planning or managing. Obviously, though, with all things, there are positive and negatives to each side of the argument.
One of the most obvious of those benefiting are often the businesses that earn profit from this type of behavior. Consumerism, though, can also lead to economic growth. When people spend more money, the economy grows as increase in production results in an increase in employment, which then leads to more consumption. Thus, living standards can improve due to consumerism.
Something to realize, though, is that this also boosts innovation and creativity. Since consumers are constantly looking for the best product/service to buy, companies are always under pressure to be more innovative. However, there are many negative impacts due to this. For example, environmental degradation, moral degradation, higher and rising debts, and mental health.
Indeed, consumerism takes a toll on the environment. With increased need for natural resources and the production of energy producing certain goods, the environment is greatly degraded. Some argue, though, that the moral degradation which comes with consumerism is more frightening than environmental degradation. With luxury brands such as the new iPhone, consumerism shifts important values as people start to focus on the materialistic factors rather than personality traits like integrity and honesty. People start to buy these goods because they believe that the goods will make them appear to be on a higher level than others and become in a constant state of unhealthy competition.
The debt increasing is a no-brainer. Some people that are too caught up in presenting themselves to be the coolest and trendiest and begin to act rashly and buying goods impulsively and excessively that their personal financial status starts to suffer. Some bring it to another level by borrowing money from others in order to satisfy their narcissistic personal vanity, leading to an increase in debt.
That brings us to the last point of the negative aspects of consumerism: mental health. This was briefly talked about when discussing the impacts on moral degradation. This also connects to the previous issues discussed by Jasper relating to debts. Debt level causes anxiety and depression, and to follow the latest trend takes a lot of effort for both mind and body. Consumerism can force people to work harder, borrow more, and spend less time with their loved ones, once again bringing the topic to materialism.
Since the group of people most vulnerable to consumerism are teenage population, and nowadays there's an ever-growing study community, we thought we could focus on it for today's podcast. The study community essentially is a group of people who are passionate about their certain aspects of studying. One of the fields most popular right now within the community is the aesthetic factor of studying. Actions can include buying certain calligraphy pens, gel pens, highlighters, notebooks, and etc.
This, however, brings forth the idea that students can only be successful if using the right products. These products are often what many influencers within this community are using. There then becomes a disturbing trend in which people believe that the products they use and own reflects their commitment and effort towards studying. As Jasper has mentioned, some actions of consumerism within this community include buying expensive imported stationery, backpacks, and the latest technological products that are present in many Tumblr posts and aesthetic studying videos on YouTube. As those who may be struggling, or even those who are already excelling, look up to those of whom have these products at hand, and may drive them into buying unnecessary items that they may not be able to afford or need.
Not only that, but those who are new and entering these online study communities, even new creators can feel pressured to purchase these extensive list of products in order to keep up with the trend and so that they won't feel like the odd one out. In order to gain an audience and to seem fit compared to the rest of the creators, many of those are already successful and are able to afford these extensive products.
Indeed, this may seem like a never-ending loophole. Due to the large quantity and availability of these posts on highly monetizable platforms such as YouTube, the purchase of large quantities of goods have become a business expense instead of profit for creators of the videos, showing that the concept of consumerism not only have an effect on the audience in the videos, but the creators too. There has been demands for it to become the creators to disclaim that products are actually practical and used on a daily basis.
Actually, there has been a policy, not that recently nor old, that established any sponsored content need to be explicitly said. Many platforms such as YouTube state that creators need to include a symbol which should say that they are sponsored advertisement in this video, indicating that their product is sponsored. There will obviously be loopholes, but many are debating whether or not policies as such actually help the issue of consumerism, because many of the audience may buy these products anyways.
When severe, some may go into a shopping spree. This heavy endorsement of consumerism may enable individuals to prioritize materialistic values that have a negative effect on well-being. More specific on the study community is that the shift of focus on the products used in the process of studying rather than the content that students are actually trying to improve and become competent in. Sometimes even resulting in a poorer academic performance as people become obsessed with the physical looks of products rather than the utility purposes. The lesson learned? It is most likely for the quality of one's learning process to not be significantly improved by the usage of these products, nor does these products reflect one's level of dedication towards learning.
We can clearly see that consumerism obviously has good and negative sides to it, though many would say that the negative heavily outweighs the positive. Since we are already unfortunately in a consumer society, it's definitely advisable to find and maintain true to oneself and remember one's own situation before blindly following some trend.
To put it simply, one's love for materialistic things should not come at the expense of their mental health and financial stability.
And with that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks for listening. Please spread awareness of this information and support SFA by subscribing to our channel. Stay tuned for the next episode. As always, we will provide some useful links in the description box. We'll see you all next time. Stay safe, everyone.